Sanket, you are there?
I'm there.
Over to you, Sanket.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, all. I welcome you all to the day 4 of our online faculty development program, a journey into manufacturing sector in India in view of Industry 4.0 practices and COVID-19. It takes me immense pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Rajkiran Kanagala, an alumni of Harvard Business School. Mr. Rajkiran received his BE degree in electronics, and he was also a university topper there. He also holds an MBA degree and a degree in export import management, where he stood all India first. Mr. Rajkiran is the senior vice president and group head business development at Transport Corporation of India, where he has been working since 2006. He is currently involved in projects encompassing from strategy and growth initiatives within the areas of technology, innovation, brand, marketing, sourcing, and HSE as his core competencies. He also heads the SARC and chemical verticals at P&L level. With an exposure of 14 plus years now in the domain of supply chain, logistics, and transportation, Mr. Rajkiran is invited as a distinguished speaker on this subject by some of most respected institutions and academia. He has authored several technical articles and worked on research projects. With an overall exposure of 25 years, Mr. Rajkiran has worked in various roles in international and domestic markets. He also serves as a member of executive committee of TCI Group. Currently, he is steering an unique national initiative on road safety and health, that is TCI Safe Suffer, which has won awards and witnessed great partnerships from numerous corporates and associations. Rajkiran, Mr. Rajkiran is an ardent fan of superheroes, comics. He is also a passionate follower of history, sports, and is fond of exploring latest technologies and performing fitness activities. It it takes us immense pleasure to welcome our guest speaker of today of this caliber to speak on the topic of effect of COVID-19 on supply chain and logistics in manufacturing sector. Now I request Mr. Rajkiran Kanagala to take over the proceedings.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the faculty. Thank you, Mehul. Of course, I know him quite well. So his family and we are family friends. So thank you for the opportunity. And I don't know whether whose profile you read. It didn't sound like mine. I didn't know that all this exists in my profile. So obviously, my team has done a good job of showcasing me and packaging me well. So credit to my team which has written the entire profile. So do we start, Mehul?
Yes, sir, you can.
Yeah. So I have some slides to share. The way we will go about is that I'll present the slides and then everybody can ask questions, and obviously somebody is going to moderate that. So just give me a second while I put up the slides. Are the slides visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll start.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so the topic is pretty much contemporary. We all wish to know the effects of the pandemic on the entire supply chain and logistics industry related to, of course, manufacturing. And it's unfortunate that we are in these times, but also any problem also gives a rise to opportunity. So let's see what are the problems and what are the opportunities. So I'd like to start with a quote of Vladimir Lenin, where what we have seen in this 70, 80 days is something which we wouldn't have seen in decades. Uh, we all have not seen. There are some seniors here, there are some youngsters, some students, and of course faculty. So much has happened the last 70, 80 days is that it's unbelievable. We all have learned a lot. We all need to change. And that's something which we have been talking over the years, but now the reality has struck us in the form of COVID. So whether it is education system or whether it is supply chain and logistics, or whether it is us as individuals leading our lives, things have changed and we all know about it. I'd like to start on a lighter note. So this is what is happening. We are in our offices, all of us, and you can see we wearing a mask because that's compulsory. And the side effect is that we don't know who's saying what in a meeting or in a Zoom because everybody's wearing a mask. All look alike. So this is what is the situation in most of the meetings or most of the Zooms. Now, how's the world shaping up? We all know that the flights have just started. Everything is under the effect of the pandemic. And during the pandemic, the impact was that only essential goods were moving. And the entire burden on the manufacturing and logistics industry was how do we ensure the basic essentials reach each and every household? And you can imagine that the entire country is shut down, manufacturing is shut. So whatever was in the distribution channels, they had to be moved and delivered to the retailers or to the doorsteps to ensure that everybody survives. So the biggest challenge for the industry, that is the logistics and supply chain, was to ensure essentials reach. Um and while this is going on, we all know that the search for the magic potion, that is the vaccine, is going on, and we everybody on the call now and otherwise are waiting for that magic potion to arrive. Thus, we can lead normal lives, hopefully. So this is what we are in. That's quite chaotic. So now what happens? So we have seen a strange phenomena that a serial like Ramayana could bind Indians at home. There was a record viewership, more than few millions, like seven or I think I heard about 7 crores viewed this, so that's 70 million. Also, a few questions come up. What will happen to consumerism? Because end of the day, any logistics and supply chain is, as you know, you're all professors, so need not teach you the definition, but it's origin to consumption. So how does ultimately consumer get affected? Uh, how does he buy? How will the supply chain arise to seek to service this new behavior? The behavior of a consumer is going to change. Will the consumer trust the brands he has been buying or the products he's buying? Because now he's worried, is it sanitized? Is it safe to go to a store and buy, or should I buy online only? But if I buy online, the person who is delivering, can I trust him because I don't know him from where he has come? So a lot of questions to answer for the entire supply chain industry, whether it's going to be a manufacturing good or a trading good, or somebody is on the delivery side. It's a lot of questions to answer. One thing for sure, what we are seeing as we have been working over times, it's not going to be the same. The pre-COVID and post-COVID, these words are going to ring your ears forever. Post-COVID is the new normal, as they say. It's the extremely challenging normal. All of you are with me, just cross-checking so that all can hear and view. Mehul,
Yes.
everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I move ahead.
The Dharam, is it fine? Amit?
Yes, sir, it's fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. But I'd just like to leave a slide on bit of hope. 2008, the financial meltdown also saw a lot of predictions of gloom and doom, but we saw the emergence of some very strong brands, strong products, and companies adapted, institutions adapted. Then we are seeing now the trend of startups. So I need not tell about these brands, but if you see a lot of these brands, barring Coca-Cola and Microsoft, a lot of brands really saw a surge post 2008. So there's a lot of hope, of course, and many more companies and brands have done well despite the financial meltdown. So we can take a cue from this and move ahead in terms of our entire understanding of supply chain and logistics. Moving ahead. So just before COVID, let's see how the times were in the trucking industry, which is the base industry, which does the bear transport from origin to destination. This is how somewhat it was looking. During those times only, we started talking without knowing that COVID is going to impact us of these expectations that we wanted a robot to manage everything and how true it was. But that point of time, nobody predicted COVID. But the fact that human element has to be reduced, the human cost has to be reduced, operations need to be more predictable, more repeatable was the norm, and people were talking about it. So this is something which we had made this slide few months ago, and we feel it's quite relevant because in the COVID times, you want less human touch in the supply chain. Now, this was a typical supply chain where you had a vendor to produce a part or get a part imported to the consumer. You had the manufacturing, which you knew, which you had inbound, outbound, you had the raw material management, you had the finished good management, and then you of course had the sales channels to reach to a consumer. You had the traditional flows with respect to the information flow, which is the part of definition of logistics, and also you had the money flow coming in. So this was a typical supply chain. Now what's going to happen and what's happening already is the digital supply chain. The physical flows will remain. Ultimately, everybody needs roti kapda makan and internet as they call now. But how it reaches the consumer is through a different way, more efficient, more visible and transparent, and with the power in the hands of the consumer. As we see now, it's a click away. Whether you're ordering online for any consumer goods, whether you're ordering food, whether you're ordering medicines, whether you're ordering a logistics service. So we are also on an app now. We were not on an app 12 or 24 months ago because the change is evident. People want to have everything click away. So Internet of Things, AI, ML, cloud computing, big data analytics, blockchain, all are being worked upon, and now they will accelerate. So you as professors, teachers, and your students all have a great chance to spend a lot of time on these areas, how these areas will enable the logistics and supply chain. We are seeing it, we are working on it, so are many large companies. So the largest shipping companies in the world are working on it. The largest pure play freight forwarders are working on this. Pure play warehousing and transportation companies are working. They are trying to bring in these components in their day-to-day processes. There's no way out. This change was coming even before COVID, but with COVID, the fact that I can't have a lot of human beings as resources put in the field, I need to adopt technology for speed, lesser cost, and of course the overall efficiency and transparency. So this is a slide I want you to remember. There's a very important aspect of how we're going to approach the new normal. A lot of initiatives the government has been taken. It was taken before COVID only. We see that post we try and settle and come out of the COVID as early as possible. These aspects will only get a push and impetus. What are these initiatives? Let's have a look. There's a standard which government initiated, which is called as AS 140 standard. Now, what's this standard? GPS today, just for everybody's benefit, any company like ours or anybody would have 30 to 40 GPS providers because a lot of our clients have already a tie-up with some service provider. A GPS is nothing but a tracking system. It has to ultimately integrate with an ERP, and the ERP is ultimately to connect to the origin to the destination and as an information byte into our client's ERP through an EDI or through a .xls file or a .csv file. So GPS is only an output which goes into a larger scheme of things. So if you have so many service providers, how do you integrate it? It's always a challenge. You can't have so many integrating platforms. So this government came up with this standard called as AS 140. They said we'll have a select 5 or 6 GPS providers nationally. We'll have a standard template to integrate with the ERPs of client as well as service provider, and thus our seamless connectivity. This was in talks. Some implementation was being done in terms of POC. We'll see that this will go ahead because you need more and more visibility in the logistics pipeline. A lot of RFID already exports. A lot of goes through ECTS. Because which is electronic cargo tracking system, it goes through that. Export containers are tracked. The ports know which container is coming for which port of the destination. The visibility is there in terms of cargo, the tonnage. We have a lot of standards around it like SOLAS. So these standards are all coming up in the port side, the container shipping side. A lot of other temperature control devices are coming, especially for food supply chains and pharma supply chains and med devices supply chain. Temperature is very critical at a box level, that is at a product level. So that's what is coming up. Integration with weather portals. Can I predict a route? If I'm going a route from Mumbai to Calcutta, which is quite far, en route, do I see that a typhoon or a cyclone Amphan is going to come? My truck is on the way. Can I stop it at? Typically, when you enter Calcutta, you enter via the Jharkhand border or you enter via Orissa border. So if I'm going to enter via the Jharkhand border, can I stop it at the Jharkhand before I enter Kharagpur and Midnapur? Can I protect my goods and vehicles and people? Integration with weather portals is extremely critical. Weather forecasting, as we know, has improved leaps and bounds. So that to integrate with logistics network is extremely critical. We do that. We have alerts in the system, and there are portals which can give you, so like AccuWeather gives you clear indication. This is something which is going to also accelerate. People are doing it. It will accelerate as a hygiene. The other aspects, just a second. So this is what overall is coming through with respect to the new technologies, which we all should be aware of typically building an integrated system. I'll just move ahead. I'm just stuck here. Just 1 second. I'll just have to exit this for a second.
No problem.
Yeah, I was talking of the conveyor systems, which we all know. A lot of omni-channel warehouses are coming up because from the same warehouse, you could be servicing multiple channels, which is institutional sales, a retailer, a company-owned outlet, a multi-brand outlet. So you need sorting systems so that you can take order in large quantities or a single quantity also. That's what I just mentioned. And of course, electronic proofs. The industry has been always plagued. So everybody used to say, "Humko physical copy chahiye that the goods are delivered." It's a strong word in our industry. Ki, "Humko proof do aap physically, stamp, thappa maro." They used to say this. And it was always so painful because India is a vast country. You are delivering to Kanyakumari to Leh Ladakh, and he wants a physical copy to reach Bombay. How do you ensure that it reaches on time so that I get paid? It takes months sometimes to get that physical copy to reach from Leh Ladakh to Bombay. So now industry was talking of the EPOD. It's going to get connected with the e-way bill, because e-way bill, they're talking of an e-invoice. Actually, it was supposed to be rolled out on April 1st, 2020, but that's been deferred. So you're going to generate your invoice of goods while generating the e-way bill electronically. So everything is going to be seamless. So the entire GST mechanism government has worked out beautifully for the entire traceability of the goods at a HSN level. So that's the level. And just to let you know, there are around 8,900 odd HSN lines in the country adopted for monitoring at item level how these cargoes are going through. So this is supply chain. Ultimately, at what granular level you are able to monitor is something which government is very keen to work out. So this is what is happening. Another thing is happening on the technology piece is that today we are empowering the drivers, the last person in the value chain, typically has to be the strongest, but historically till now has been always the weakest. We always treat the drivers, the delivery boys as a guy who's not important. But we cannot do anymore because A, when he is delivering, he is the last contact for you in this COVID times. We have to ensure he is sanitized. We have to ensure he is digital. He is not touching much. So a lot of things are going to be on your phone. He's going to give you a proof that he has delivered. He'll give you the details of the package. You're going to have a track and trace of the entire order you have put it on anybody. So whether it is a e-commerce or a food delivery. So this is something which started before COVID. It's going to pick up. Most important for when you are in a vast country like India and thousands of trucks are going across, we need to have the geo fencing also, so that a truck doesn't go out of the route. Why? Because you have created a route to ensure that the cost is monitored, to ensure that the vehicle is track and traced, and also to ensure that it comes back quickly. Thus the operation efficiency is there. Otherwise, typically drivers go here and there. So a lot of geofencing is being used to monitor the vehicles so that they don't go astray. So this is another aspect which is going to take speed. All these technologies are not new. All these technologies have been in implementation phases in various companies, by government, lots of manufacturing companies. But now they will, as I said, catch speed because people would like to go digital as much as possible. Now let's see and come back to the topic. Let's see what's the state of supply chain. What's really happening? This is what has happened. Because of COVID, everything was under lockdown. Ports are congested. There are no drivers and laborers. Today we are running at only around 30 to 40% capacity, just to let the house know. We are nowhere near 100%. We are nowhere near 75% also. The last 2 months we are working. We have been working during the pandemic also, but it's hardly around 20-30% levels. Now slowly it's inching up, but it's going to take time. It will reach up to might be 75-80, but the last 80 to 100 is always going to be a challenge. There will be more cost to reach to full capacity, so you're going to incur more costs. Obviously demand is not there. We all know, we are all seeing news, reading. A lot of demand has fallen and it's going to continue in the future. A lot of disruption. We need to fill the pipeline again. But how do you do? Everybody was shut. Only essentials were going, as I said. The ports are congested. Your cargo is stuck in ports. They need to go to tier 3 manufacturer. Tier 3 will go to tier 2, tier 2 to tier 1, 1 to the main OEM. He will then push the product to the channel. Channel will take it. The sale will be made. It's a long supply chain. And there are too many disruptions in between. Of course, it's shortened by the e-commerce. It can get shortened by better planning, but it's a tough ask at present for all the supply chain practitioners. What are the trends we are going to see due to the advent of COVID and the things what I've said already? Because there is a lot of anger against China globally and in India, you're going to see a lot of domestic sourcing increasing, but it'll take time. Be local. Government is saying be vocal about it. It's a good thing for all of us, but it'll take time to implement because a lot of skills are not there, a lot of technology is not there, finance is not there, and people are not there. People are scared and at homes, so it's going to take time. We see that road transport is reducing, will reduce, though it's not going to be dramatic. Road freight in India is still 60-65% of the total freight spend in India. Approximately the total logistics bill for the, as per India's GDP, is close to $160 billion. There are many reports. Somebody says 150, somebody says 175. Let's take 150-160 billion dollars, out of which 65% is road transportation, 30-odd% is rail transportation, and the rest is between the coastal shipping, the inland waterways, and air. So that's hardly 5% all put together. So, but the rail and coastal shipping and those segments will grow, what we predict. Warehousing will increase because a lot of companies, you would all remember as teachers, professors, students, that just in time was being spoken about a lot. the Japanese production system or total production system or Toyota production system were being taught, Kaizen, Kanban, they still will continue, but you'll keep safety stocks. So with that, for that, you need warehousing. You need to ensure that your supply chain is more robust. There will be increase in cost, but you don't want to be dry. You don't want to be totally away from manufacturing or supplies. So that's what is going to happen. As I said, we'll try to establish the global value chains in India. We'll try to develop those skills and investments. I spoke about safety stock already. I won't repeat. The biggest part, like you are an institute, I'm sure you have gone online to teach, like everybody. You're creating your syllabus online, you're creating a lot of things, you're trying to develop sanitization programs around when you start physically. So are companies, so are supply chains, so are logistics and transportation service providers. Risk mitigation, what next? What do we do if it comes again? How do we, if there's any other pandemic in the future, how do we face it? That's something which we all need to plan as individuals, as well as practitioners, as well as any person who is working in any professional role. Very, very critical now to think of contingency plans. Very difficult, but we need to start thinking. Else, the next time something like this happens, we can't blame on anyone. We need to be prepared. Next, I'm moving ahead. So, time to reinforce and reinvent. That's what I just left at the previous slide. I said we don't want our shipments to be touched, our products to be touched much. I said about digital transformation, standards, automation, and a lot of compliances. Government is going to come up with a lot of rules, so let's be prepared. So coming to last few slides, we all know this is a shock which nobody could predict. I don't think everybody is looking, but even Nostradamus could not predict this. The best of the naysayers could not predict such a pandemic. कोई बता नहीं पाया. So what is in for supply chains? This is the biggest challenge. As a college, professors, teachers, students, how do you tell someone that how to face it? We don't know how to face it. We are learning it. So daily we are learning and then trying to implement. There's an error. So as we know the feedback, the great BCS loops, you're all engineers. So we want a feedback loop to come in and correct, but you have very less time for the feedback loop to be integrated to your systems and correct next day, because sometimes it might be too late. So when we all have been talking over years, agile systems, if ever there was a need to be agile and dynamic, it's now, not later. Again, on a personal level as well as professional level. If there was a need to change, it's now. Again, personal and professional level. I emphasize on these two factors because if at personal level you are not able to change, you cannot make any change in any supply chain or logistics side in any company or institution, because you're not able to change yourself. How can you advocate or preach someone else to change? So that's something which we all need to learn and remember. So what are the takeaways for you and business? So you means you as a fraternity in the teaching space, and for us as business or manufacturing sector or logistics sector. So human connect is important. So this is a dichotomous statement. I'm saying we should reduce connect, but I'm saying human connect will become important. Why? People are afraid. People are extremely nervous. So communicate, communicate, communicate. 3 mantras. But be digital. We have to look at all the tools. A lot of tools are being used. We need to be connected. These are some industries which all of you can look at are going to grow.
Sir,
So,
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Your slides are progressing. I could actually see trends in supply chain macro changes. So,
okay. I didn't know that. Okay. I'm just going back, so I think it's going slow. You are here?
Yes, sir. Is the slide saying trends in supply chain macro changes?
Macro changes, yes.
Yeah.
So I covered this. All of you were with me on this.
The slide
I
is not
covered up.
visible actually.
The slide is not
It's okay. Yes. Macro changes, trends in supply chain, macro changes.
All of you can see that.
Hello?
Yeah, all of you can see the slide.
Can't hear you properly.
Not yet.
All of you can see the slide now. Can
Yes,
you hear
yes.
me?
Yes. Yes.
So should I start from here again? Mehul?
No problem, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you hear the audio? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm asking, do you want me to repeat or should I move ahead? Is what I'm asking.
You can move ahead, sir.
Yeah. This slide, can you see now? Supply chain entity levels reinforce and reinvent.
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh, it's time to change that means. Okay. Is it visible now?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay. So just give me a second. What I'll try to do is I'll try to relook at the connection. Just give me a second.
No problem, sir. Sir, you are there? Rajkiran sir, you're there? Participants, there is some network issue. We'll try to just sort it out. We'll be right back.
Yes, starting in a moment. Please be there.
We request participants to stay connected, please.
Can you hear me now?
I think yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, at last.
Sir, what can you do is
Uh,
Sir, am I audible? No. Raj sir, can you hear me?
Mehul, I can hear you.
Yeah, but he can.
We are lost touch with him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Try connecting then, no problem.
Yeah. Sorry, participants. There is still some network issue at Raj Kiran sir's end, but still he has shared me his slides, and what I'll do is I'll use my mobile phone, and I've shared my desktop. He will speak on my mobile phone, he'll share his voice on my phone. Sir, what you can see on your this screen? Can you see the main this?
Yeah, first slide we can see.
First,
Ne-
and sir, now one. You can see the trends in supply chain. Okay. You just let me know. I'll forward this slide. You were on the next slide.
No, we were there, huh? You could not.
Yeah.
Similar before.
Correct.
Yeah. So, let's start.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Amit, is it fine?
His voice is little.
Voice is little less. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
If you could increase the volume.
You can put it on speaker mode if possible.
I have put. Sir, you can speak. Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me, everybody? Is it better now?
Amit, is it okay?
Still, the voice is less, but
Okay, voice was less.
the volume is low.
Mm-hmm.
Can you take your
Yeah,
keep
ma'am.
the
Tell
phone
me.
near to the your laptop
I have done that.
or everything done?
I've done that.
Okay.
Mm, uh, sir, just speak now, sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes, Mehul, we can go ahead.
Okay. Amit, can you hear now?
Sir, this
Yes,
will work,
we can
sir.
hear it.
We can go
can
ahead.
hear, only volume is low, but we can
But
hear
that
him.
is fine, sir. It's clear.
Okay, fine. Okay. Sir, you can start, sir.
This is, more than 30, 40 minutes right away because we were trying to fix it up. So, I don't know what happened. I think we had a bandwidth issue majorly here. So, let's move quickly. So, can you click once Mehul, please slide the complete slide? Can you click it?
Yeah. Can you see the slide?
I can see the slide, so just click it.
Yeah. Okay.
Till we get all the text.
Okay. I'm done, sir.
I can't see it here.
Okay. It'll take a moment, sir.
Yeah.
Can you see now, sir?
No, the text has not come. It is coming in. Yes. So, thank you for the patience. once again, let me bring the context back. So we were looking at the impact of COVID on the logistics supply chain. We spoke about the way disruptions have been. We spoke about the use of technologies coming to the fore again. We spoke about the new normal, the way we need to change to adopt the impact of COVID. And I then came to the slide when we got disconnected. I said that companies will look at alternate modes to the trucks because there is a shortage of drivers and laborers. They will look for rail and coastal. Also, people will build more warehouses because they need to maintain safety stock. The lead time will not work completely because you're going to get into an issue per se with respect to any disruption again. And the biggest part what I thought was on risk management. Everybody has to plan and have contingency plans. If you don't plan it now, then the next time there is a disruption through a pandemic or otherwise, your plan to ensure we don't get disrupted, whether it is on a personal level or professional. You're next. Actually, this is one problem of Microsoft Teams. So we are also on O365. We don't use it. We use Zoom license version. Microsoft Teams is very slow. And this is what happens. It disrupts very fast. So this is not a good technology. They have not been able to adapt it. And Zoom or even Google Meet. Google Meet is also quite good. So I have seen many people using Microsoft Teams without videos. So that the income purpose is lost. Yep. So I guess so. Just go back, yes. So the need to reinforce and reinvent is what I was thinking. I've already touched the automation in handling. People will not like the supply chain, the manufacturing setup, a lot of conveyor systems, palletization, automation will come. A lot of compliance is about to come from government. People are going to be checking the factories, our facilities, and logistics providers. So all these things is going to come out for sure. So this is what is going to happen and you are all facing it. So like inspectors come and check whether you are measuring the thorough temperature of the employee and they ask for the record. So the temperature record. So this is something which each of the places is being done and monitored. So all these measures are new due to advent of. And there is a need to reinforce and reinvent your supply chain. Can you move to the next slide?
Yes, sir, I've done.
Yeah. Well, this is the biggest shock nobody could predict. And I told again that time that even the best naysayers, जो लोग gloom and doom predict करते हैं, उन्होंने नहीं predict किया. Nostradamus did predict this, but it has come and we are facing it and we are midst of it. So there will be transformation in the supply chain. So we are seeing that. I've already covered the way we want to transform in terms of digitalization, better technologies, sanitization, human distancing more and more. I'll give you an example. Today we run some warehouses which have got 700 people in a warehouse. It is the largest FMCG warehouse handling 2,000 tons a day. Now how do you run 7,000 workers and turn around that warehouse with safety and still ensure supply is given to the marketplace? Just think of this problem. And try to do a case study. How do you rotate these people? They were all very close to each other. Now you are saying you. How do you do that? So these are certain aspects which we are going to face and we need to manage. And this is the new normal. So all of us need to be ready with solutions. Yeah, so I'm coming to the last slide. Actually, really lost a lot of time. So human connect is important, but through the digital way, as I was saying, the need to communicate more than ever is critical because people are going through a lot of tension. We are seeing, the answer to what I'm saying, we are seeing death playing out in front of our eyes. Seeing that and hearing, the news has been cracked like never before. Why is tuberculosis nearly kills 1,000 to 1,400 people per day when nobody has played that news on TV or media or anywhere? But corona, because it's so contagious, it's being played out. So that's scary. That's why you need to have a human connect which is digital and communicate more important. That's very critical. Be adaptable. I've covered that. These are some new sectors. You can start talking to students and others. Agri products, government has announced very good schemes for the farm sector. Now knows the value of dark travel. Everybody has that value. People are becoming more conservative. People know the value of basics. So food and retail will have focus and of course medicines. So farmers of this want to be big. One important thing which we have taught ourselves and a lot of people in our company and everything is be a multitasker. We need to be a multitasker. We don't have a choice. We need to have more than 2 skills else you might lose out a job. If somebody was a specialist and that is going to get digitized, then you are not required. Somebody knows only one skill and there's a salary cut. Companies say this is the value attached to a skill. If you do multiple skills, your value goes up. So in the job place, in the marketplace, you need to be a multitasker. While being specialist or domain expert in some areas, we need to know more skills. That's something which we are also teaching from the youth. Work from home, you all know we need to measure to manage 2 lives while being in the same premise. So that's a very tough thing. And safe. You know now what is the benefit of staying. We all Indians do that, but the new generation has not been doing. So that's good. And finally, a very important fact, we have to be resilient. We can't cry. We have to build resilience individually and in the supply chain. So what is resilience? You all know. We need to ensure that every aspect of every component of the supply chain is and the network is covered and nobody is taking anything for granted because of the pandemic situation. Your supplies would be disrupted. Their plants might get shut. How will you ensure there's an alternate supply? How will you ensure there's an import substitution? These were normal before. Everybody is forced to think about it. Next. Yeah. So, on a lighter note, this is what is going to happen. That work from home will mean that you're going to end up doing more on the couch. You're going to be on the couch, but you need to still think of solutions. So, just on a lighter note, trying to end that we need to find ways to do better while we're doing work from home. This is what we're also trying to advocate. So, we all come to the office. So with this, I end the presentation. Again, I'm extremely sorry for the technical glitch. But if you just summarize, we spoke about the impact of the sanitization and digitalization will have on supply chain. We spoke about drivers and laborers not being there. That's the impact. We spoke about import substitution. We spoke about the fact that finance is not there in the marketplace, which supply chain will get it. Supplies will not be so strong. And we spoke about that if we don't adopt we're not resilient, we not survive. In fact, with this, I end my presentation. Thanks. Any questions? We can have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'll just find out. I can see some there. Can't see such. As specific, sir, I can't see any questions.
I just saw one question somebody asked on the electric vehicles, right?
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Electric vehicles will be in demand. In fact, what we see is that once the economy starts picking up in the next 12-24 months, people would like to buy a vehicle or automobile for themselves. They would not like to buy public transport like trains and buses so much. They would like to buy. And the electric vehicle will come in because we have got a climate change issue to handle. So you will see, but it will take time. Because for electric vehicles, again, everybody is dependent on the raw materials on China. So we don't have a choice because they produce nearly 50% of the earth metals required for the globe. So you will see traction, but it takes time when it's catching up.
Yeah. Amit, could you hear anything? Amit?
Yes.
Amit, you there?
Yes.
So there is one more question in the panel.
Sir, thank you.
Sir, there is one more question
sir,
in the
wait,
panel.
Just a minute. One minute. Sir. There is one more question.
Dharam sir, you can read out.
How is the resilience of a supply chain measured?
Sir, there is a question which will come to you. Will just hear it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I repeat, how is the resilience of a supply chain measured?
It is saying how is the resilience of the supply chain measured?
The resilience of the supply chain is only one metric, and it's very simple if you think carefully. Is your product or service available to the consumer when he wants it? That's the resilience. If your product or service is not available with the consumer, it means you are not resilient. It means you are not adapted whatever you have to do to fight out the pandemic or otherwise. So resilience always meant the ability to service a customer and with classic definition, right time, right place, right quantity, right price, that always remains. It's a cliche statement, people say, finance covered, that remains. That's the resilience. That's how we measure it. End of the day, it is the sale and the margin you make will determine your resilience.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Dharam sir?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. On behalf of Production Engineering Department, Dwarkadas J. Sangvi, College of Engineering, we extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Rajkiran sir to accept the invitation at the last minute, just 2 days back, and that too with your busy schedules. We could see working in the office right away, and so thank you very much, sir. The session was really solidifying, giving the aspects of supply chain and logistic. Started the session and almost through your slides, it was very humorous and comic in a very comic way, leaving everyone unattended. I mean, everyone was very much attentive as such. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, thank you everyone, faculty, members, and really sorry for the kids again. These things happen, and we need to live with it. So that's a learning for us also to see how we can handle it badly. So be safe and have a great future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Dear participants,
Yeah.
there is a change in tomorrow's schedule. The session tomorrow will be starting at 3 p.m. instead of 4 p.m. Please take a note. You will get the message on the group as well. Thank you. Mehul sir.
Yeah. I just sir is there. Hari sir is still there.
So you can end the live part, Mehul sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay.
And Amit sir can stop the recording.